Pez fans! Thanks for tuning in. Good to have you along for another one of my, I know, they're fantastic product reviews, aren't they? Yeah. It's the BELL Z20 Road helmet I'm wearing today. Let's get a nice little close look at this thing. I like this helmet. I've been wearing it for a few months. It is packed with features. For me, one of the biggest things about a road helmet is how much does it cool my head? How cool do I feel when I'm riding on this thing? Am I going to get overheated? And I have worn some helmets, some inexpensive helmets from a bunch of brands. Actually, none of them have been Bell's. But you put them on, they just don't breathe. They don't pass the air across over your head, and it is like wearing a hot oven on top of your head. There are deep channels inside here that are designed specifically to bring air in the front, pass it through your head, over top of your head, and as it's going, that motion of that air going over top of your head is actually what cools you off. It's a MIPS equipped helmet. So when you crash, hope that doesn't happen to you, but if you do and you go down on your head, what's going to happen is the helmet's going to slide along your head on this liner before it grips your head and starts twisting it and doing anything weird, which is going to obviously result in damage to your neck, possibly worse. We're seeing MIPS now in pretty much all the top end helmets, and if you don't have one, I highly recommend getting one because I think they're just a lot safer. I've never actually experienced a crash where I've had to have one save my life, but I feel a lot safer knowing that my helmet is MIPS equipped. Here's our MIPS. First of all, it's got some nice little padding inside. All right, we've got two zones of pads. First up at the front, second at the back here. So these things, they just Velcro in like this, and they come right out. And I'm taking this out because I want to show you exactly what the MIPS liner does. So look, it's this white plastic liner that sits and floats inside the helmet. In fact, look at this. See these little yellow tabs here? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. See how that moves? So that's going to be your head in an impact, in a crash. This liner is going to move before your head moves. It's going to dissipate some of the impact of the crash. Basically, it's going to make you a lot safer. The liner here up front, I really like this one. It comes right out too, but here's a really nice feature about it. There's this brow liner that goes all the way around the front, and it even sort of folds out into the front of the helmet here. I can attest and I can tell you that this thing actually works. It does a really good job of keeping the sweat from running down my brow into my face, and even though it's a really small piece of padding, it actually does an amazingly good job. And that, I think, works in conjunction with something else they've designed really nicely about this helmet. Look at these little bumps, these little vents right around the front here. There's one there, there's another one on this side. What these things do is they channel the air into the helmet. They help bring air as it comes into your face, get it past your brow, moves it into your head where it can actually be effective at cooling you off. These things do make a difference. Next up, the construction. Another nice feature about this, Bell uses a dual foam density construction inside the helmet. There's two different densities of foam in here, and you can see exactly where they meet by this thin little line that runs around the edge of the helmet here. The idea is, it's a cool one, and I think it makes a lot of sense in that there's a softer density of foam in here to absorb a certain amount of impact from any kind of a crash you have, coupled alongside a harder density foam, which is there really to increase the protection value and the sturdiness of this helmet. All of it's wrapped inside a really hard case. You can see the framework that runs through here that basically builds a really strong helmet. In fact, I can barely flex this thing with my hands. That's a good sign. Straps are very thin. They're thinner than a lot of helmets I've had in the past. We're seeing a lot of these now where basically they found a way to just make a nice, really strong strap and retention system, but it's a lot thinner, which makes it more aerodynamic. You're not having a bunch of thick stuff bumping on your face, flapping against your head. It stays flatter, air flows past it. It just makes for a more comfortable helmet. The chin strap, very nice little feature down here. One finger, one hand, boom, you're in, you're out. This works well with all kinds of gloves, I can tell you. The chin strap adjusters are Bell's own design. They are really low profile, and they're not as complicated and as funky as things we've seen on other helmets where you can open it, slide your straps around. The neat thing is they're really low profile. They don't stick out. They don't cause extra wind deflection. They're just a little bit more aerodynamic, and they're lighter. So they're helping reduce the overall weight of the helmet. Around the back, we have got Bell's retention system here. Super easy to use. One finger or one hand. Well, one hand. We turn the knob. Goes looser. Tighten it up. Nice and tight. Nice and snug. Fits exactly, you can adjust it to fit exactly the way you want it to, and it's easy to do. The entire retention system wraps around your head. A lot of less expensive helmets, cheaper helmets, more poorly designed helmets will have the retention system anchored into the actual helmet itself, so that what it does is when you tighten it up, it kind of pulls the helmet back against your forehead, which, we lived like that with helmets like that for a long time, and it seemed to be okay, but they don't fit exactly the way they should, and there's a better way to fit a helmet onto your head, and that's by cinching the entire piece of retention around your head so that the helmet itself will continue to float on top of your head as it should, which basically makes it much safer and much better for impact. Price on this is about $250 US, exactly what you'd expect to pay for a very good high-end helmet. Comes in a bunch of colors, the classics, blue, black, red. This one is called there's white, of course. This one is called their Ghost MIPS, and it's sort of a lighter gray. It actually responds really well. There's a reflectivity in the built into the color here, that when it's hit with lights like a street light or a car headlamp, it actually gets a lot brighter than it does. So it's actually a really good helmet to have on for night riding. There you have it, Pez fans. Another interesting and hopefully informative review that will help you make better decisions, more informed decisions when choosing your next piece of cycling kit, cycling gear. The BELL Z20 helmet, available online at bellhelmets.com or an awesome and reputable bike dealer near you. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you get a chance, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's up there, down there. It's somewhere. I will see you next time, right here on Pez, and I am out.